Wow, this is so exciting. Hi everybody, this is Iridescently Tea. I just got to Taiwan. I'm going to be an English teacher here. I flew out of San Francisco because it's an international airport and it was way cheaper than flying out of Sacramento, which was nice. I got to see like all my grandparents before I left within one night. So that was really cool. Hopped over to the San Francisco airport. My parents dropped me off and then my mom went inside with me to help me with like my luggage. So when you get there, I flew China Airlines, which was awesome, honestly. Because we're in COVID times, you have to have, this was the most confusing part, and honestly, I was probably 10 steps from a heart attack. Like, I was so stressed out that I wasn't gonna be able to get on this flight because I took my test last Tuesday, August 25th, and then I got my results the 27th, so that Thursday. Your results have to be within 3 working days of you getting on the flight. So for a while I thought it had to be within 3 actual days, and then I found out like on Monday, no, it was Sunday night, because it was like Sunday night at 11 o'clock, so it was too late to try to catch the 1 a.m. flight on Monday, that it's 3 working days from when you receive your results, not from when you take the test. So then I was like, crap, now I'm pushing back my quarantine time and I'm gonna be extra late to start school, because school started for my job yesterday, this Monday, because today's Wednesday. So it started on Monday, and then I have to do 2 weeks of quarantine. So like, I'm not gonna start until like 3 weeks into the semester, but it is what it is. I'm here now. So we walk up to the counter. So he asked for my passport, what my visa was. He asked if I had an ARC, which is the resident card. I don't know what the A stands for. I can't think right now, but if I had a resident card, and I don't, so because I don't, and I have American passport, I need a negative COVID test. So I gave him the paper that had my results and that showed when I received them. And he took it to the back and he said that, and then he came out and said that he has to give it to Taiwan's government and see if they'll approve me. If they approve me, then I could get on my flight. So I'm stressed. I was like low-key convinced that I was gonna have to go back home and figure something out and be even more late to start school. But we waited. They said it was gonna take like 30 minutes. We probably took like 15. We went around the corner to sit down. And so she was the person that was standing and she could see the, where the counter was. And then she was like, oh, T, look. And like, she looked at the guy. She said that he like went thumbs up, like, yeah, you're good. And she's like, T, like, you're good. And I was like, oh my God. And then like, I was chill because I wasn't worried about the flight. I'm not worried about living in Taiwan or being alone by myself out here. I'm not even alone. I'm in my sister's house. So I already have people that I know out here, but nothing scared me. I literally was scared that I wasn't gonna be able to get on the flight. While they were taking in my luggage, my mom was like, has anyone ever been denied yet? And he was like, no one has been denied that I've seen. And it's kind of like, dang. But like, it kind of makes sense because if you already have all of the documents and you have the test within the time, like there's no reason for them to deny you. And yet I was still stressed because I just like to stress out, I guess. But yeah, so I was able to get on. Security was right there. So my mom like dropped me off, gave me my last hug, and then I like walked in. Took 2 seconds to go through security. The gate was all the way at the end of the hall. We were supposed to leave at 1:45. And it turned out that they were boarding early, so I was like, oh, okay. Like, they started boarding at like 12:45, probably earlier than that, because like I came in at like maybe 12:50, and I feel like I was like one of the last people. Checked all of my stuff, and then she had me stand in front of this machine and like look at it, and I don't know if it was for temperature or to verify that I was the person on my passport. I don't know, but because it was like a lens, and then that was like 2 seconds, and I was like, what's going on? But then she handed me all my stuff back, and then I just like got on the plane. Super social distance, which was really nice. But I imagine that like not that many people are going, because I don't think they're just handing out passes. Like the traffic to Taiwan is not the same that it probably usually is because there's not tourism. Literally there was no one. I think the first person closest to me was like 3 rows behind me. There was no one in the middle rows. And then there was one person all the way down the end on the opposite row. And the only people that really came close to me were either people that walked down the lane to the bathroom, which was like one person, or the stewardesses that were like covered. Dang, I wish I would have got a video. I forgot to take one. Like they had not hazmat suits, but like they definitely had like gowns. You could tell it for sterilization. They had gloves on, they had their masks on and stuff. The flight went really well. I was knocked out for a solid amount, woke up to food, so that was really cool, and it was delicious. It was like, I have a video, so I'll probably be putting the clip in right here, but it was like chicken, and there was bread and fruits, there was water, and I think there was something else. Oh, there was like a Kit Kat, which reminded me of my mom because she likes Kit Kats. So that was nice. And then I might have knocked out for like a little bit longer, and then I think I woke up again and watched Onward, which was adorable. I don't know why it took me so long to see it, but I'm really glad I did get to finally see it. And then I think I went to sleep again, and I woke up, had to go to the bathroom, went to the bathroom, and then I came back and everybody was getting their breakfast, which was also good. It was an omelet, and there were mushrooms in there, and potatoes, like chopped up potatoes, house fries, I think that might be what you would call it, and like one giant sausage, and there was yogurt, orange juice, which I don't like, but it was there. They had also fruit and bread. I was gonna watch 1917, but then like when I clicked it, they said that there's not enough time on the flight to finish it, and that movie's like 2 hours, so I was like, oh, that's great. That means we're close as heck. Plus it was like 11, and I was like, well, then that means that we've been flying for like 10 hours. So then I just put on Jumanji, because I love that movie, like the new one with The Rock and Jack Black and Kevin Hart. And I watched like 30 minutes of that, and then we landed. Didn't take that long to get off because everyone, well, I mean, we were waiting for a second, but I think it was just like the regular them opening the plane, and where everybody's so social distance, and there were probably like 30 people on the plane. Honestly, like there was no one on the plane. So you get off, and then when you come up, this long strip that was like gave like a little blurb about the African virus and like how it affects pigs and stuff and why it's important. So you grab one of those. Then when you come out, there was a line, and then someone said, oh, do you need a SIM card? And I was like, yes, I do need a SIM card. And they're like, okay, go down there. And then got my SIM card. It was only like $700 Taiwanese dollars, or 700 NT, and then he put it into my phone. It's only for 2 weeks, so I still have to get another one once I leave, but it's for the 2 weeks so that they can contact me in regards to my symptoms. Then once you have your SIM card in, a link is sent to you, and then you click that link, then you enter your information for this health thing. Once you enter that, then another link is sent to you, and then you confirm your phone number, and then another link is sent to you, and then you confirm the last digits of your passport, which takes you to another form that you have to fill out all of your information, I think again regarding health, and like, oh, like where you're gonna stay, how you're getting home. And then from that, you have to screenshot it, or you could just show them. Like I screenshotted mine, but my phone was still open because there was no line. But yeah, because when I first went up there to her, she was like, oh, you didn't put your full name. And I guess my given name, I had to include my middle name because that's the way it was on my passport. So I had to go walk away and do it again and then go back. And like my phone was on like 12%. Went back, the person let me through. Then she told me, I think there was like 4 or 5 rules, but the only ones I remember is like you literally cannot leave your room for 14 days. You can't go down to the lobby, nothing. You have to stay in your room for 14 days. Take your temperature twice a day, because I think you have to report your symptoms. And dang, maybe I wasn't paying attention, but whatever it is, it's like, I don't know, I guess it felt like it was common sense. It felt like it was common sense, so I was just kind of like, oh yeah, okay, I'm not gonna be leaving quarantine, and I'm just gonna be monitoring my health. I think that was the thing, like if you feel symptoms, then you have to report it or something, but I'm like, I'm fine. That strip of paper that had like the pig virus thing on it, then if you had something to report, you would have gone, that's where I would have reported it, but I didn't have anything to report. I don't have any plants or animals on me. Like you can't even bring unfinished meals. So I handed that to him, and then I went around, like they sent me through this like super small thing. That's why I was confused. He was like, go that way, and I'm like, this is tiny as heck. It was a small little skinny area. Like it was small for me, and I'm tiny. So I went through, then there was like this little hub that's like quarantine something. So maybe if people had like symptoms or something, you'd go there. And there was a person in a wheelchair right there, and I think they were like attending to her. But I didn't get stopped, so I kept going. Then I made a left. Customs was right there. There was like a form I had filled out on the plane, gave him that, and he directed me to where to go. And then the lady checked. I had to obviously take off my mask so she could see who I was, and then look into a specific camera and put my 2 index fingers on this little finger scan thing. And then she let me through. So that was like 2 seconds, which doesn't happen in the US, but anyways, Then I just went through, then went down to baggage claim. My stuff was already there, picked it up. They had like these nice little carts, was able to stuff all my stuff on there. Walked around to the left because that's where it said the taxis were. Went to the taxi booth. The guy was like, oh, where you headed? Showed him my address. And then he's like, oh, it'll be easier if you go with us because it'll be outside is meter. And like, I'm not going outside because I don't speak no Chinese. Like, not good enough to do that. Like, I know like a tiny bit. Like, 我叫 tea, and ni hao. Like, I don't. 我想吃. Did I even say? I probably didn't even pronounce that right. I want to eat. Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not going outside anyways. And he was like, oh, it's 1700, 1750, 1500, either 1750 or 1500 dollars NT, which ended up being $51 US dollars. That one I looked up, and he was super nice. Like, he was like, oh, yep, sign here, this, and then just wait here and your taxi driver will come. So I was just chilling. I found another place to plug in my phone, but by the time I plugged in my phone, he came over and like sprayed off my bag, which they hella disinfected, because when I got my bag off of the carousel, it was wet. And I was like, dang, did it rain on my bag? Like, that's really bizarre. And I just like picked it up, and then it wasn't until he sprayed on my stuff and like didn't wipe it down that I was like, oh no, they sanitized it. So it got sanitized twice. Then we drove out to my city, like my new city. It's really pretty. It was really, I know that I'm gonna like Taiwan because everything is green, and green is just such like a peaceful, calming color for me. And it was just, everything was green. Like, I was just so happy looking outside. And like, I came at the perfect time because it was nighttime when we flew in, which sucked because I was trying to get shots of the ground flying overhead. By the time I got out and was done with everything, it was like the sun was like just coming up. And so everything was really pretty. It was quiet. Low-key, I think the airport is in the middle of nowhere, so that's like also a thing. But it was just super peaceful. Because I was on the phone with my mom, I didn't see my message from my sister, so I literally, when I responded to her, I was already outside her house, and she was like, oh, I wasn't ready for you, but she came down. And then when I got down, the guy put my stuff in the place, and then the lady that was at the front lobby, she sprayed all my stuff again. She sprayed my hands. And then I went upstairs, and now I'm here, and I will be here for the next 14 days. That was an adventure. Maybe I'm just patient, but I didn't feel like and I also kind of knew what to expect too, now that I think about it. But like, going through customs and all that stuff wasn't that stressful. I wish I knew more Chinese though. Like, I felt ridiculous, like, why don't you know more Chinese? Other than that, it wasn't, it wasn't that bad. So it's cool. I'm glad I'm here. This is a pretty place. I've eaten a little bit. I have a cute little quarantine buddy, Coco, my sister's dog, which is tiny. Oh, and sister, I mean sorority sister, my sorority sister's dog. But I'm so glad to be here, and I'm like so glad to explore, because everything is pretty much normal here. So once I'm out of quarantine, you best believe I'm about to be all over the place every weekend. So hopefully that alone will give me all types of videos. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.